Well, sometimes we take some of the really great things about West Michigan for granted, but when a visitor comes to town, it gives us a chance to see where we live in a whole new way.
And you know what? That's what happened at Binder Park Zoo when they invited a very special guest to help them with a big fundraising effort for the fall. We sent Joy out there to meet up with him, so let's take a look.
He's been on every continent on the planet, and now Jack Hanna is right here in Battle Creek at the Binder Park Zoo. We're so glad to have you here today.
Well, it's good to be here. I've heard a lot about the park, and Greg Geis was a friend of mine for many years, and to see what they built here is just really, I've only been here an hour or so, and it's hard, it's unbelievable what it is. We came in this way back here, we looked at this beautiful place where trees roll in the middle of the thing, you know, I mean, I was raised in Tennessee on a farm where they used to build farms that way. And then you go there and you come back into all these gorgeous woods and all this property. I mean, most zoos, about probably 30 zoos I know of right now would fit inside your zoo. You must be land-wise probably the 5th out of 220 in the country. So that's impressive in itself that you have room to grow over the next 50 to 100 years. That's important. A lot of zoos are landlocked. A lot of zoos are in inner cities. They're all great zoos, but they have nowhere to go. I keep telling people trees are something that, you know, that you just can't just plop in. I remember in Columbus we had no trees in 1978, and everybody laughed at me because we had no money, but God donated a bunch of trees, and now they're like big like these beautiful things here.
And you've seen zoos all over the world, and you've seen animals all over the world. Tell us a little bit about your travels and your adventures.
I'm on the road about 260 days a year, and I'll go back to the African veldt you have. It's the first one I've ever seen that you don't see. Buildings from a city, which is one thing. You don't see housing of the animals in the shot of the planes, and you don't see like you know, chain link fences. In other words, it's extraordinary is what it is, your African veldt here. That's all I can tell you. I was raised on a farm in Tennessee as a little boy, watching Wild Kingdom, which you probably never heard of. It's a thing with Marlon Perkins a long time ago.
I remember it.
Okay. I never thought that I would ever be able to travel the world, every continent, and film over 400 shows in the last 25, 30 years, ever, if you told me as a young man. My life is a dream, really. I dreamed to be a zookeeper when I was 11, because I went to work for a veterinarian that took care of the Knoxville Zoo, which was not good. Just like Columbus wasn't good, just like this place wasn't even here when I was a little boy in the 50s. And I cleaned cages for 5 years. I loved it, and I went to college. I took political science because I was drafted in the Army back then in the 70s, early 70s. Came out of the Army, cleaned more cages, and just became a zookeeper and a curator and a zoo director in Florida, and came to Columbus in Ohio in 1978, where I've been ever since. And TV started as a lark, you know, just goofing around on local shows, and I did Good Morning America. We started in 1983. David Letterman, we started in 85. Then it got into Talk, Ellen, all the rest of them, and you know, I just have fun. You know, I don't look at myself any differently than I do 40 years ago.
And you're educating kids. That's important.
I think the reason we've been successful, and I say we, because a lot of people are involved in what I do, is the fact that we try and teach conservation or education through conservation. We try and do it in a fun way. It's not a funny subject. Job. He was a brand that was worth gajillions of dollars. I never branded myself. But Steve gave all his money to conservation, 400,000 acres he bought for animals. Can you imagine that? And lived in a very meager home. The thing wrong with TV today is it's reality TV, and they're teaching these kids the wrong thing about animals in the wild. I think a lot of them are.
So if you had just one message you could share with our West Michigan viewers, what would that be? Well,
one message I can tell you right now is you're obviously supporting your local zoological park right here, and you can see the results. I'm sure you can see the results. The message is keep up what you're doing, because it's not just that you're educating folks about animals. You're bringing people here that might want to move their families here. It's not just a person goes in the neighborhood and says, oh, I got a job here, let's move there. They look at school systems. They look at it might be the symphony. It might be, do they have a zoological park? You know, so this is economically, if you want to look at it that way, an investment that you could not buy anywhere else. The investment of the zoological park here is not worth just millions. It could be worth billions to your area here.
Well, Jack Hanna, thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing your message of conservation and education and the love of animals with everyone in West Michigan.
Well, thank you. I'll be back up here, trust me.
Great.
What an amazing guy. He's so passionate about what he does.
And how cool that he came to West Michigan, to our very own Binder Park Zoo, and just that he shared his expertise with us. I mean, Joy looked like she was having a great time.
I bet. And he was really impressed, Joy told me, with what we have here. He's visited so many different Africa-themed exhibits and said that this is really one that we should be very, very proud of. And so sometimes we do take things for granted when they're in our backyard because we don't realize what we have. And did you see that hat that Jack was wearing? He told Joy that he's worn it on every continent he's traveled to and that he wants to be buried in it.
I think if that's his request, that's what he's going to get.
Hey, yeah.
He also said that he never wears it on Letterman. He wears a less important hat for that and saves this one for the very special occasions like coming to Binder Park Zoo in Battle Creek.
So wonderful.
Uh-huh.
Okay, don't go away. We got a lot of 8 West to come.
Hi everybody, I'm Jungle Jack Hanna and I'm West.